This is the track Calm Down in Trackmania. It's a 20-minute long track where all you do is balance on a pipe, from the start all the way to the finish. It was created by the mapper Tomato X in 2009, and it has since become renowned as the ultimate patience test in Trackmania. Because you see, Calm Down has no checkpoints, so if you fall off the pipe at any point, you're forced to start all the way from the beginning again. A few months ago, I wanted to see if I could complete Calm Down, and I quickly discovered just how difficult it is to drive for 20 minutes without making a single mistake. But after a few hours of trying, I successfully completed the challenge, and I made a video about the track. And following that video, some very genius people from the Trackmania community thought, but couldn't the track just be longer? Lol. And because of that absolutely brilliant idea, we now have this. Hilberts Plane. Hilberts Plane is a 48 by 48 grid of only pipes, filling up the entire floor of the Trackmania stadium. The path on the track perfectly utilizes all the space, being just a single pipe that extends all the way from the start in one corner to the finish in the other corner. Once again, there are no checkpoints to save your progress, so if you fall, you are right back to the beginning. And a rough calculation by Chem said that the map would take 3 hours to finish. 3 full hours of balancing without making a single mistake. The difficulty of Calm Down pales in comparison to Hilberts Plane, but I also welcome the challenge of the new hardest patience test, and I wanted to become the first person to beat it. So that's what I tried to do. This is the story of how I beat Hilberts Plane. Just before we begin, I would really appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel if you like these videos. It helps me out a lot, and it lets you know when more Trackmania content is coming out. Thanks, and enjoy the video. First off, there are a few key differences between Calm Down and Hilberts Plane. On Hilberts Plane, the pipes are flat instead of rounded. This made driving on the straights much easier, but it also made driving the pipe corners much scarier. And to reach the finish line, I had to do 1,840 pipe corners consecutively without failing once. The map creator Chem was also kind enough to add a nice layer of fog to the track, so that not only would you have to balance for 3 hours, but it would also feel disorienting and boring to play. Because to be honest, that was the biggest challenge. To not get impatient or reckless, and to not lose focus while driving the same corners over and over again, thousands of times, in the vast nothingness of space. But I was up for the challenge. So on the 15th of May 2021, I was all ready to try to finish Hilberts Plane. This is the map! You start here, and there's just an endless maze of pipes to balance across. Through the fog, you'll end up somewhere. Not exactly sure where the finish is. We don't have to find the way. There is only one path on this. But we have to actually drive it. Alright, well, are we ready then? I think I'm just gonna start. Here we go. Three hours. And if you fall, start over again. I can already tell this is gonna be miserable. I can already tell. Oh my god. Okay. So if my wheels drop off, there's always a way to save it. There's always a way. Like if I just lose 1 or 2 wheels. Like this. You get the first wheel up and then you get the back wheel up. But if you get this in a very tricky spot, then it's hard to do that save in time for the next corner. And then you're really in the problem. So here I have to drop my back wheel, reposition the car, and climb. Hopefully. Good. But there is also a way to do these corners without having to do this. It's just more tricky. Oh. Yeah, now we're in a tough spot. I think I'm gonna do this. So yeah. Welcome to the stream. Hope you have some snacks. Enjoy the ride. Wait, why does it say 0 out of 36 top left though? What does the 0 out of 36 mean? So there, okay, so that's how you can tell progress. So I haven't even done 136. Yeah, okay, great. Oh, dude, this is such a long map. Like, you don't really realize how much 3 hours actually is until you think about it. One? Wait, one? One. Okay. That was almost back to 0. Just calm down. Calm down. Just calm down. So I think the most important thing with this is to take breaks. I don't think we're gonna drive too long without taking breaks. If we drive for too long without breaks, I'm just gonna int. Like, I'm gonna make stupid mistakes. Because you have to do full focus to not fall off this, you know? So let's set a deadline. 12 minutes, I think, for every break. Small break at every 12 minutes. "12 minutes. This is where we will make our first break." So yeah, I just need to rest my eyes, mostly. And I just need to rest my brain a little bit. Good first 12 minutes, though. What's the current best? What's working on this? Nobody finished. Nobody finished. If we do, we will be the first. I think I'm ready to keep going. The thing about this map, which is so interesting to me, it's that every corner is pretty easy. Like, if you just do one corner, it's very easy. The problem is that you do many, and it just gets, like, my brain is like, I need something to happen. This is so boring. So I end up being reckless. And that's what I gotta be careful about. They did a test, like a social experiment, where they called in people for like a meeting. But then there was actually no meeting. They just put them in the waiting room forever. And they placed a button in the waiting room that they said, do not touch it, you know? But it was so boring for the people to just sit in the waiting room that they ended up touching the button and then electrocuting themselves. But then because they were so bored, they kept electrocuting themselves to have something to do. It's a crazy experiment. But it just shows, like, if nothing's going on, your brain goes insane.
Imagine accidentally driving in the wrong direction.
Actually impossible. But yeah, that would be bad. Have you guys ever had thoughts when you're driving? Like, I only had these when I started driving. So when I first started driving IRL, I had these thoughts. And it was like, what if I just drive off the road? My brain went, like, the chaotic side of my brain just went like, yeah, what if I just drive off? Like, what happens, you know? And I never actually did, but it's just like that one split second of chaos where it's like, yeah, what if I just don't turn? That's what I'm feeling right now with this map. It's like, what if I just jump off? And then I'm like, my 4 billion years of evolution is like telling me, no, that's stupid. But then, you know, monkey brain is like, ooh, that sounds fun. I don't know what they call that, but there's probably some phenomena about it. Because I don't think I'm the only one. And it's not like I would ever act upon it, it's just, I get that thought sometimes. Oh. Okay. Like, I have a set plan for every corner. If that plan doesn't go well, though, that's when it gets tricky. Like if the wheel... Oh my god, dude, really? Oh no. After 42 minutes of balancing, I had one small lapse in my concentration while doing a corner. And that's all it took to send me down into the abyss, forcing me to start all the way over again. As naive as it sounds, my strategy going into the track really was to just not fall. And I didn't think that I would have to deal with the consequences of it. But there I was, still in denial that I'd lost 42 minutes of progress and that I still had 3 hours of precise balancing left until I reached the finish line. I was kicking myself a little bit for it, as it was such an unforced mistake. But that was the name of the game on Hilberts Plane. You had to show enough restraint and composure to avoid those exact mistakes. And after being salty for a little bit about the mistake, I dusted off and went for my second finish attempt. And this one, I felt that I wasn't going to fail. Whoa, wait, we made it to 7. Guys, we're almost back where we were. I was quickly making progress in my second attempt, and I got all the way back to the exact corner I fell at in just 30 minutes. Wait, was it this corner? Wait, does this look familiar? This looks familiar to me. I think it was here. I'm just having flashbacks, right? I think it was exactly here that I fell. That looked so... I just had deja vu. I'll never forget the moment I fell here. I think it's here. After that, it was very steady progress until I noticed something interesting. Now, I'm not a superstitious guy, but for some reason, it felt like corners to the left and corners to the right were different. On right turns, I would often drop the front wheel a bit on the corner and then easily climb back up to have 4 wheels on the pipe. But often when I tried to do the same on the left corners, the wheel wouldn't climb as easily and often get stuck on the edge, forcing me to accelerate more to get back on top and also risk falling. It could just be me being paranoid, but seeing as I was so far in, I really didn't want to lose my progress. So I started treating the corners differently. On right corners, I would drop the wheel and then climb back up, but on left corners, I would intentionally go much slower to ensure that I didn't fall. And this did reduce my overall pace by a lot. But the most important thing was that using the strategy, I felt much more confident in my ability to stay on the pipe. And with it, I was making good progress. I'm glad that we recovered. We're now back past where we were. We're on 8 out of 36. But yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. No, seriously, I cannot align these last ones. I think it's just my aim. Like, it's not the physics of the game. It's just, I don't know where to place my wheel. Like, with the right one, I know I have to dip and then climb. Try to do the same for the left, and it's just so awkward. Hey, 1 hour. Okay, we're 1/3 of the way. A little bit later, I hit the 1 hour mark, being exactly 1/3 of the way through the track. Still with high spirits. But as I got further and further in, my pace slowed down even more. And after driving for 1 hour and 45 minutes, the realization dawned on me that I still had very far left to go. God, it's like I don't want to drive right now. I don't know. Oh man, it's just so far to go. Like, if I stop now, you know, I haven't failed. But I have to keep going, and I might fail, and it sucks. Despite feeling a little bit unmotivated, I kept going, focusing on just doing 1 corner at a time. And before I knew it, I made it to the 2 hour mark. But at this point, my vision was starting to get blurry. I was so tired from focusing for that long that I struggled to see the exact edge of the pipe, which I needed to see in order to climb back up with my back wheel. Okay. My eyes were acting up, I couldn't actually see the bar. I know how weird that sounds, but my eyes were just tired. I couldn't actually see the edge. The track was just becoming mind-numbingly boring to drive. Have you ever had the feeling after looking at a word for long enough that the word stops making sense in your brain? That's what it started feeling like with the turns. After a while, my driving became so automated that it stopped making sense to me, and I had to purposefully snap back into focusing and staying alert when driving, so that I wouldn't fall on accident. But when paying attention to these things, and setting clear rules for myself on how to approach the corners so that I wouldn't fall, I managed to continue staying on. And soon, I found myself with just 10 sections left to go. Good. My god, man. My eyes get so tired. It's crazy. Like, some parts where I should be good, like, I just can't see the edges anymore. Like, it's just, you look at that for too long and you go insane. I'm getting there, though. I just gotta take this step by step. 10 parts left. Despite it being painfully boring to play, I knew that with each corner I passed, I was 1 step closer to finishing the track. And if I just managed to stay patient for long enough, eventually I would run out of corners. And before I knew it, I now just had the 2 final sections to complete. 35 out of 36. One more layer, boys, and we're there. I feel good. I really feel good about this. I'm following my rules to a T right now. Like, I'm not breaking any rule, which is good. It's pretty eerie. That's the finish. That's the finish. That's the last layer. That's the finish, boys. Okay, chill. Oh my god, come on. Hey, let's go, boys. Oh my god. Let's go. Let's go. We're done. we're done. And just like that, after 5.5 hours of trying, I beat Hilberts Plane. Going into the track, I thought I had an approximate idea of how exhausting it would be, but this was a mental test unlike anything I've ever attempted before. And I feel very happy to say that I managed to beat Trackmania's new hardest patience test. But knowing what happened last time I made a video like this, I'm scared to think that someone might take it even further. For me personally though, I think this is the end of the road with Trackmania patience tests. But that's it for this video. If you for some inexplicable reason would like to beat the track yourself, there will be a link to it in the description below. That's it for now guys, I will see you all in the next video, and until then, have a good one.